I'm going to go off the prepared intro I have of Senator Nina Turner. I've gotten to know Senator Turner quite well over the last few months, working on school reform, talking about various community issues. And I'm reminded a couple years ago when everyone in Cuyahoga County was saying we should not reform county government, or they were saying we should do it a different way. There was one Cleveland leader who said, no, we should do it this way. And that sounds awfully familiar when we think about Fannie's contributions to the school choice movement. Nina has consistently been someone who puts the needs of her community and the children of this community first. She clearly is one of the driving leaders of the current Cleveland Mayor's School Reform Plan. And she just does amazing work in the state Senate and is always one who will listen and think and come up with what likely is a rational conclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend Nina Turner.
Thank you so very much, Matt, and he is my friend. So I want to thank you, School Choice Ohio, and particularly Director Cox. It is a pleasure for my husband and me to join you, and it is my immense honor to be receiving or to be a recipient of the Fannie M. Lewis Courage Award. Now, anyone who knew Councilwoman Lewis knows that she was the personification of courage, a fierce advocate for her community and Cleveland's children. In 1997, and Senator Voinovich, you may remember this, the U.S. House of Representatives Subcommittee on Oversight and Investigations on Education and the Workforce, they came to Cleveland. And Councilwoman Lewis, in her traditional form in believing in the uplift of young folks, asked now my very good friend, Dr. Ronnie Dunn, and myself to testify by her side in front of this committee. And I am not ashamed to share with you that Dr. Dunn and myself, we were baffled because we didn't quite know how we felt about choice at that time, being juniors at Cleveland State University. But Councilwoman Lewis pushed us to the forefront, and we were able to give our testimony before that subcommittee. But I want to read for you a portion of what Councilwoman Lewis had to say in 1997 before this subcommittee when they came to Cleveland. She said, as a councilman, I know the value of education. I am sick and tired of seeing youngsters become miseducated. One of the worst things I've seen in Cleveland public schools, and no offense to my school board colleagues here, the name of the game is politics and money in the city of Cleveland. I don't know what it is where you are, but that's what it is here. The reason why people don't want the voucher here is because the parents can take the voucher where they want to take it. It is time that we give parents the right to be involved in education of their children. There is not enough time for me to say all the things I want to say to you. Choice is important. It is going to happen whether we as elected officials agree with it or not, because the people are the ones with the vote. People are tired here in the city of Cleveland, and I am not going to quit working. This is what Councilwoman Lewis said in 1997 before that subcommittee. And we could say the same thing today, that some politicians are driven by money. Other politicians are driven by doing the right thing. And I ask that all folks join me, whether we are Republican and Democrat, in forming a new type of party, and that's the RT, the party of the right thing. And Councilwoman Lewis was the mother of doing the right thing. And although I don't know exactly where the President of the United States stands on this issue, I will tell you that he and his administration would race to the top, and holding public schools accountable and to a higher standard is something that we all should applaud. It doesn't matter whether our young people go to public, private, religious schools. It is all about choice, and it is all about high quality. I believe that it takes teamwork to make the American dream work, and we should demand high-quality schools no matter how they come. So I want to leave you with 3 things tonight, and to the parents, I salute you, because choice is something that God Almighty has given us as human beings. But the 3 things that I want to leave you with tonight, number 1, I believe that the Creator has given us 2 hands. One to reach forward and one to reach back, one to reach forward and one to reach back, lifting as we climb. We are our brothers and our sisters' keepers, and more importantly, we are the keepers of our children. You know, Helen Keller once said, one must never consent to creep when one feels the urge to soar. And it is our moral obligation to make sure that all children, regardless of their ethnicity or zip code, have the opportunity to soar. It is absolutely unconscionable to have over 55% of Cleveland's children in schools that are either an academic watch or academic emergency. We have a moral crisis on our hands, and we can stand up and answer the clarion call on our watch about whether or not we are going to educate our children. I want to salute the mayor of this city, who decided to stand up irregardless of politics and say that he is going to put the children of this city first. And I am honored to be standing right by his side. And Speaker, I am so glad to hear that we are going to pass that Cleveland plan tomorrow in the Ohio General Assembly and stand up for Cleveland's children. Number 2. We can't ask other folks to do more for us than we are willing to do for ourselves. This was the hallmark of what Councilwoman Lewis stood for. Hard work, hard work, hard work, and determination pays off. Or in the words of Frederick Douglass, you might not get everything that you work for, but you will work for everything that you get. We have got to create cycle breakers in the city of Cleveland, in this state, and to make sure that no child languishes just because of poverty. To break the cycle of poverty and undereducation is what the system is made to do, and choice is a very vital part of that. And I salute you, Ohio Choice. And lastly, in the words of my grandmother, who was hailed from the South, she could not read or write, but sisters and brothers, she could count her money. She was born in 1914, cut from the same cloth as Councilwoman Lewis. And when I would ask my grandmother, what does it take to be successful? She said, my dear granddaughter, all you need are the 3 bones: the wishbone, the jawbone, and the backbone. She said the wishbone will keep you hoping and praying, because hope is the motivator, but the dream is the driver. The jawbone will give you the courage to speak truth to power, to stand up when other folks want to stand down. Or in the words of Dante, the hottest places in hell are reserved for those who in times of great moral crisis choose neutrality. We need folks in this city and in this state, elected or not, who are going to stand up and speak truth to power and demand that our children have the education that they deserve so that they can live out their greatest greatness. But Rabbi Moulton, the most important bone of them all is the backbone. Because Grandma said you can do all the wishing and the hoping and the talking that you would like, but without a firm backbone, you have nothing. So we have got to continue to stand, continue to do what is right, and to remember from our souls that this, in my estimation, is a Matthew 25 moment. When I was hungry, you fed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me to drink. When I was sick and in prison, you came to visit me. And the 21st century version I want to use is that when I was in need of education, you educated me, whether it was private, public, religious, parochial, it doesn't matter. It takes teamwork to make the American dream work. God bless you, Ohio Choice. Parents, continue to stand up for your children. And if you live in the city of Cleveland, you vote for this levy that we are going to have to put on the ballot and make sure the model that we are using in the city of Cleveland, thank goodness, because Republicans and Democrats are locking arms, is to make sure that high-performing charter schools are part of the equation in educating our children. We don't run from doing the right thing in the city of Cleveland. We want to continue to be a city and not a cemetery. And if we don't educate our children, we will be a cemetery. The moral and just thing to do is to make sure, as my grandmother used to say, lottie-dottie and everybody has access to their measure of the American dream. And it starts with an education. Keep the faith, keep the fight, and God bless you, School Choice Ohio.